Hey, Chanel here with another Sew Bit. Today we're talking about sewing room organization. I had a 1,200 square foot studio a couple years ago. I was there 9 years. Can't believe it. And it was harder to keep clean than my smaller studio. I'm now in a 600 square foot with half the rent, which is another good thing. I found myself constantly walking back and forth trying to keep things clean because I always wanted to walk into my studio the next day and not have to put stuff away. Once in a while I'd have to, but that was the goal, was not to, just to get in there and start on projects or have a class, that kind of thing. So I had to be a little bit tidier when I came into this smaller space, and it's working. I don't walk back and forth as much, so it's been better, although that was better exercise. I have gained a few pounds. Anyway, starters, I do a lot of pattern drafting, and I love trays. So this tray right here actually just holds just my pattern drafting things. So I have a lot of white out in here. And erasers. Yeah, I have a lot of that in there. Paper, scissors, that kind of thing. So this I know is just my one little tray that I have for pattern drafting, and then I'm going to take you on a tour and show you the rest of my little organization tips. Hopefully it'll help you. Here is my cutting board. I love the cutting boards. Just keep them out on my table. This is a sewing tray that we have one sewing tray per table, and I keep my tools in there. So I have one pair of pinking shears, usually a couple more shears are in here. My markers, I keep the chalks and things, like safety pins and things in this little tub, the ones that, they get lost in here, you're fishing for it, but you want to be able to get it real quick. I also make sure I don't have any regular pens in here. I don't use this as a trash tray. A lot of people just throw stuff in here and then it becomes a trash tray. So I'm very fussy about that. Keep my main tools here, and it keeps the table tidy, and it's easy cleanup in the evening. And then to keep my patterns tidy, I just get these fabric boxes here, and I keep my patterns in here and things I'm working on. And then the students also, they each individually have their own fabric box and put their projects in here, and then we put these in a big chest I have at the end of the studio, and everything's just their projects here, so they don't hopefully lose stuff. So this is what it looks like under my big drafting tables. I have two of them in the studio here. This is the one I tend to like to work on the most. We all have our favorites. This is a big bin, clear, like the clear bins, and I have all the fabric in here. I've got like probably 1 to 10 yard pieces in here, all woven cottons that we use in my beginner sewing class for beginner skirts. And then I have a tray of felt for crafts. Used to have a lid, and now it doesn't. Another bin that I just pull it out and I have all kinds of trims in there. Zippers, jelly belly zippers, pipings, laces, a lot of different scraps that I've gotten over the years. And then this is actually a bin of lining, big lining pieces or little scrap pieces. Sometimes you just need a little scrap to do an alteration, and that seems to be working. On the other table I have two big bins like this, just full of scraps that the kids do fashion draping with, if you need a scrap. But we clean that out regularly because sometimes they get little tiny pieces and we want big scraps in there. I also have another couple bins with smaller scraps, like half-yard pieces, things like that we use for our patchwork skirts. And these tables are on wheels, so I can move them around, and it really seems to work. It's pretty efficient. Anyway, that's my big tables. So my thread station, I keep spools up on these boards that we just put nails on and spray painted it. I keep all my bobbins over here. The best system I've ever had with the bobbins. I love these donut rings because I used to fight the bobbin organization for so long. I actually have these for my Bernina. So I put them in the lavender one, and I know they're all Bernina ones. And then these are my regular for my brother machines. Keep all the cone threads in here in one big basket. So if you need, we use a lot of cone threads at the studio, so we're using this a lot. Then I have over here. I don't know if I have that situated here. I don't know if you can see it. Is it right here? These are needles where we put them on a magnet board, and we just keep one needle in there each, so they're just great organization system here. And then I have drawers down here that hold my fashion design stuff, and then I have interfacing in there, and all my beginner sewing class stuff here, and a lot of fashion design stuff there. So all nice, tidy in one little corner. Tends to get a little crowded. I have to clean it off every once in a while, but it's really working. So this is in my back cubby hole. I have like a little kitchenette. It's near the bathroom, and in my little studio I had to really make some space. So this was an old one of those cubicle things that I had at my other studio, and it was out on the floor, but now we have it back here. And it's just these little cloth drawers that they really come in handy, and it just happened to fit in this cubby hole. I mean, like to the T. I was so lucky. But I have my sewing tools in this one, like some shears and some like supplies, extra supplies, like the tools that you use, and then paper scissors, muslin scraps. I have a whole thing of muslin scraps because sometimes you just need a little piece. Tapes, I use this a lot. I got a lot of masking tapes in there, draping tapes, Gorilla tape, that kind of stuff. Machine tools, I have all my like needles, anything that's for my machine. And I know I have, these are my little tubs for all my presser feet and stuff, because all my machines are here. So I have all my favorite little ones in here, like invisible zipper foot, the silicone one for slippery fabrics, the roller foot, that kind of stuff. That's all in there, so I know exactly like where to go with this stuff. Then I have patterns. That's what we use for the fashion club kids. We've got a lot of, just over the years, have gotten patterns for, they're all in just the ones we make at Fashion Club. So they're not my pattern ones. So that's just been a great system. So little cloth drawers, label them so you know where everything's at. I also have a miscellaneous drawer, which I have some of my Bernina stuff in there, and sandpaper for some reason. So, great system. So for my pressing station, I don't have ironing boards anymore. I have there was this counter in the studio, and I just got the padding from like Walmart, had just the iron paddings, and I just Velcroed and glued them onto the board here, so it's just a great, nice flat surface. The iron also is great. This counter had a hole in it, so I just put the cord down there and I plug it down there, and then I got one of these things to hold up the cord high so that the cord never gets in your way here, so that's great. Then I put the little mini ironing boards on the wall, so I just hook them up here and just use that. And got a couple little tools here, try to keep this area clear. And then in the corner I have my sleeve boards, some hams, and some like stitch witchery, things like that. And on the other corner here I have a cordless iron that I love, so that's good. And then on the bottom here, there's some shelves down here. I have little trays that I just keep stuff in. So I have elastic, all my elastic, then I have neutral zippers. So I do the basic white, black, tan zippers, and I have colored zippers. And so those are just easy to take out. They're all right there. And then I have, in these little tubs, I have buttons, and use this a lot. Tapes, like the binding tapes and laces. Got ribbons, fasteners. I kind of just tied them all. I got a tub of Velcro, all that. So just really easy to get. A couple baskets with miscellaneous stuff there. And then I have scraps here, and I keep my muslin bolts back there, and these are just scraps for us to sew on. And then I have patterns right here. I section them out by put summer camps. Those are for my kid patterns. And then I have skirts. Do a lot of skirts. So all the skirt patterns here. And these are just, I take the drawer out and just put it on the counter, and then we go through it. So that's been a great little handy thing. It's on wheels, and I can take the whole thing out. And then back there I keep stuffing. We use stuffing here a lot for the kids. So that is the pressing station. So here are the sewing tables. I've got 6 of these in this studio. I really like a clean sewing area. I want to be able to take my project from the big table to here, not have to move stuff around to get it out of the way. Always keeping these just clean, and it's just to sew with. Have a little sewing tray on the right side of these tables. They're from the dollar store. It's just $1, because that's what you get at the dollar store. This sold 3 trays. It's so perfect. I actually bought about 10 of them, because just in case one breaks, which it has actually. So put them on there, and I just keep simple stuff in there. Clippers, 1 tomato, couple like zipper feet, or just 1 zipper foot, screwdriver, little tiny, I hate these things. They're seam rippers. I gotta have a big one. I don't want little ones there. Just keep that, tidy also. I don't put a bunch of stuff in there. I just want to, if you want to get it, you want to get it. You don't want to have to field through it. So just clean sewing tables, and then everything just goes efficiently. So that's my sewing setup. Well, I hope that little mini tour gave you a couple little tips. I've been sewing and had a studio for many years, so these are all just little parts that have really worked for me. I also have a free class out on pro tips, being able to sew, just little techniques to use. You'll find a couple of these in that class, but just kind of how to end some frustration by simple little things you do, like developing some habits that will help your sewing process. So take a look at that. I put a link below for that class, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll bring you tips and tools and techniques every week with the Sew Bits. See you in the next Sew Bit.